Welcome back. It's the last call for Big League Baseball here on the Suncoast before the regular season starts next week.
There are just 5 home games left between the Pirates and Orioles before the big leaguers head back home, and an especially rare opportunity for Suncoast baseball fans tonight. ABC 7's Adam Cellini has more.
Welcome, fans. Welcome.
Nancy Kizu had a special reminder for Orioles fans Thursday.
It's a little white stuff up north. We don't have that down here.
Many will be returning north next week with their major league teams, while Kizu and dozens of seasonal employees return to retirement.
I was a nurse and I thought I'd be a greeter at Walmart, but this is a lot better.
A home game against the Boston Red Sox is also better for Angel's Taqueria, which makes money on parking outside and tacos inside. Former player Don Shaver will miss it when the regular season starts.
That's a lot of fun too, but it doesn't have the ambiance of this. This is Eduardo's such a wonderful host.
Despite the ambiance, fans like Mike Sullivan, who has season tickets for both the Orioles and Pirates, have noticed a dip in attendance.
And this year there haven't been as many sellouts, less people. Remember, baseball started a little earlier this year. They changed that, and it's impacted a lot of people.
The MLB is starting the regular season earlier than it ever has on March 29th. It's part of a new labor contract to give players 4 extra days off. According to the Pirates, average attendance in Bradenton is lower than last year with 4 home games left. And the Orioles had their 5th sellout on Thursday after nearly breaking a franchise attendance record last year.
It's not rainouts, and they still have quality teams, premium games, non-premium games. There's just something with the timing.
But even those who waited until the end to catch their first spring training game couldn't complain once they were here.
What are you going to miss most about spring training, you think?
The nice warm weather.
I would like to stay in town until all the snow goes away.
I'm sure a lot of people would agree with her on that. The Orioles eclipsed their stadium capacity today with an announced attendance of over 8,000 fans. Their last home game will be Saturday night against the Twins, and the Pirates will play the Phillies here on Monday before heading back north.
The Northport Police Department's assistant chief is placed on administrative leave. Mike Pelfrey was placed on paid leave after a complaint was filed for an undisclosed reason. Pelfrey has worked with the city since 2015. Before that, coming to Northport, he worked with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office for 26 years. Pelfrey's leave comes at an interesting time for the department as current Police Chief Kevin Vespi is set to retire next week. His replacement hasn't been chosen, and no interim police chief has been named.
Happening now, the Bradenton Police Department is hosting another community squad meeting. Officers are holding the meeting in a vacant parking lot on 15th Street West in Bradenton from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. The community is invited to stop by and talk to the officers directly about any issues or problems you are seeing in your neighborhood.
Portuguese man-o-wars are washing up on some Suncoast beaches. Sarasota County lifeguards have reported that some of the large organisms have washed up on Casey, Siesta, and Lido Keys. The long tentacles typically can be around 30 feet long, have potent stinging cells, and can even sting when they're out of water. So you do want to avoid touching or swimming near one of these. You can ask on-site lifeguards about current beach conditions and also check the beach warning flags at the lifeguard towers. These are pretty typically seen on the east coast of Florida, where people are used to seeing them, but here on the west coast you don't see them too often, so it's pretty rare.
Pretty interesting. Well, let's check in with meteorologist Steve Newman for a look at our first alert forecast this evening. Steve?
Thanks, Jacqueline. We do have a little mild air on top of us. Some folks might call it cool, with a high of only 66, which is, 11 degrees cooler than normal for this date. We don't get a lot of cool air like this anymore. Even the overnight lows several degrees cooler than normal, and we're going to drop off to the mid-40s tonight, most likely across most of our viewing area. As far as sunrise and sunset goes, we just had the first day of spring a couple days ago, so the sunrise and sunset are pretty close, setting tonight at 7:43 p.m. Taking a look at our satellite, not a cloud in the sky, so it's not going to be a beautiful crimson sunset. You're just going to see it go down over the horizon in a couple hours' time. But all in all, it's not bad over the Sunshine State, and it's not raining anywhere, and it's probably not going to rain for about 8 or 9 days at this point. We'll talk more about that later. If you're heading out on the town tonight or just going to go in your backyard, it'll be another cool night with temperatures slowly cooling off or quickly cooling off because of the dry air into the 50s and bottoming off in the mid-40s. Coming up in a few minutes, I'll tell you about the nor'easter, what's happening up in Canada and the eastern United States, as well as our weekend forecast. Jacqueline?
All right, thanks, Steve. 19 Florida cities and counties ban the practice of conversion therapy on minors, and the city of Sarasota may be next. ABC 7's Alan Cohn joins us now to share what it is and why one former commissioner is making sure it never happens in Sarasota.
Jacqueline, therapists across the country practice conversion therapy, also known as reparative therapy. It's part of an effort to change the sexual orientation of those who identify as gay, bisexual, or transgender. Groups like the Human Rights Campaign and Equality Florida argue conversion therapy could have a negative and long-lasting impact on patients, but conversion therapists say they practice can help a gay man or woman discover their heterosexual self over time.
It really works with time-honored processes that are mainly psychodynamic.
If they end up in the hands of somebody who's engaged in a fraudulent treatment practice of conversion therapy, they may be damaged.
Coming up tonight on ABC 7 at 7, Erica Jackson will share why LGBT rights activists are trying to ban the conversion therapy in Sarasota, even though there are no known reparative therapists within the city limits. Back to you.
All right, Alan, we'll see you tonight. Thank you. IMG Academy hosting its second career fair event today. All 40 departments across IMG Academy's business had representatives at the event at IMG's Fieldhouse today. The Legacy Hotel at IMG Academy was also there to promote future openings within that new hotel. More than 250 full-time, part-time, and summer positions are currently available at the Academy, including operations, athletics, coaching, and academics.
You don't have to be a sports expert or an athlete to work here, so we're trying to get that out in the community a little bit more and let people know about all the opportunities that we have.
Positions are scheduled to be posted this summer for the grand opening in the fall. You can apply on its website, imgacademy.com/careers.
Booker High School engineering students are working with Mote Marine Lab researchers for an exciting project. Students are using the school's 3D printers and other high-tech tools to build houses for the new red tide detectors created by Mote researchers. Today, students visited Mote to check out the early results of their work.
It's a really great opportunity to work with them, both because I personally, love what Mote Marine does and everything they do, and also because it was an opportunity to work with real-life engineers in a real-life setting and see how kind of everything works out. So it's a really great experience for all that.
Students say a second project with Mote Marine could be in the near future, and they would love to have the chance to work with the lab once again.
Great opportunity. Yeah. Here, let's get down. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight.
A new study shows cutting calories may reduce the aging process.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore. But there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
Come experience the rugged capability and luxurious comfort of a new Ram truck and get big savings during Ram Truck Month at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Ram trucks. Get the all-new redesigned 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $23,999. Or save big and get $10,000 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke It's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Many websites selling medication may look professional and legitimate, but the vast majority of sites selling prescription drugs are doing so illegally. Criminals use websites to sell counterfeit medications that may contain life-threatening toxins. Dot Pharmacy is a website verification program that helps you identify safe and trustworthy online pharmacies. Purchasing medicine online can be safe and easy. Just look for pharmacy to the right of the dot in website addresses.
Anyone who may be averse to aging, listen up. A new study suggesting people don't need a fountain of youth, just a small change in diet. Reed Binion has more details.
The secret to a longer life could be found in your diet. Research published in the journal Cell Metabolism indicates that a reduced calorie diet can slow the metabolic process that leads to aging and protect against age-related diseases. After a series of pilot programs, researchers at 3 universities ran randomized controlled trials, the first such test of calorie reduction in human beings. Participants were divided into groups to compare methods. One group tested a diet-only calorie reduction, another tested exercise-only, and the last group tested half diet, half exercise. Participants in the diet-only group lost an average of 20 pounds in the first year and maintained that weight loss in the second. Researchers used the amount of weight loss to estimate the total reduction in calories and say the participants achieved a 15% calorie restriction. One scientist cautions the study only shows a correlation between caloric intake and longevity. More research is required to determine exactly how calorie restriction prevents aging. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
What a great day we had across the Suncoast. I'm going to step out of the picture to let you see the beautiful skies over Anna Maria today, at least for the last half hour. This is a slow time lapse here, so you can see the beautiful contrails going across the sky and a little bit of ripples on the water. We want to thank our viewers for sending in photos to pics@mysuncoast.com or through our app. This photo by Mary Stablito of North Sarasota shows sunrise this morning, a beautiful one up in North Sarasota. And Cheryl May sent this sunset picture from the Venice Jetty last night, and that's pretty much that's what it'll look like at our sunset this evening. Not a lot of clouds, just the sun dipping over the horizon. And of course, Cindy Desmond sent this picture of a blue heron in Sarasota. What great photos. We appreciate you sending them in to us. Currently over the Sarasota Bay at 64 degrees. Our dew point 39, humidity 40% with a northwest wind that will ease off tonight and temperatures will drop. Of course, it did not rain today either, meaning we're almost 2 inches below normal for the month and almost 4 inches below for the year. Hardly any rain in sight. We definitely need some rain or we're going to have wildfire problems, drought problems, maybe water restrictions if we don't really start seeing some rain. Don't see it for a while though. Dry air in place, not going to rain tonight, tomorrow, or for the next week. But up north, where it's been snowing in miserable conditions, they have more moisture than they want or need. That's winding down with a nor'easter right now over Nova Scotia, moving into New Brunswick. On the other side of the country, they need rain too because it shuts off right about May, and they're getting it from top to bottom in California, rain and mountain snow around the Seattle area. And in the mudslides area around Santa Barbara, where a lot of people have had to evacuate, it's coming down pretty heavily. Haven't had any reports of mudslides. If we do, we'll keep you posted through the evening in our late news. Now, the national weather picture showing the snow cover from coast to coast. They're getting it out west where they need it. And up in the northeast where that nor'easter is winding down, you can see how much snow is on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4 feet of snow in many locations. And there's another storm heading their way. Temperatures across the nation, 63 right now at Memphis, 44 at Chicago, Salt Lake City, 63 with that rain at 62 in Los Angeles, and it's damp in San Francisco with 55. Now here's our weather picture. The futurecast showing that high pressure in place, giving those northerly winds, will settle over us, giving us dry weather for Friday, and then Saturday as it moves offshore, it sets in a south breeze, bringing in warmer weather and a little bit more moisture in the air too, but not enough to produce any rain. If you're going out on the water or if you're in town for spring break, it's still going to be a little high surf conditions for a while with gusty north-northeast winds 5 to 15, easing up by tomorrow afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Bay and inland waters will have a moderate chop. Beach temperature 71, but make sure you have your sunscreen on because the UV index is up to 9. The water temperature 69. It'll warm up. Here's my forecast for the rest of tonight. It will be clear and cool. Our normal low for this date is 57, 45, and it could be the low 40s in some of the inland areas like Mayaca City out to Arcadia with winds north-northwest 5 to 10, and the more they ease off, the colder the temperatures get. And for tomorrow, a sunny day, a beautiful day, very pleasant conditions with a high temperature of 72, still cooler than normal with those north-northeast winds 5 to 10. And here's a 7-day outlook that doesn't have a lot of meat to it today, really. There's not much going on for the next several days other than a warming trend that sets in on Saturday and Sunday as we warm up into the upper 70s, and even warmer on Monday with a high temperature of 82. You can see no rain in the panels there right on through next week. Now, Good Friday is a week from tomorrow, and the beginning of Passover as well. It should be dry then, but the day before Easter, Saturday, we could see our next chance of rain, but that's something we're going to follow very closely. It is way out there, and that's our weather story.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Time now to check your first alert traffic for the drive home. Right now, the southbound lanes of I-75 are looking clear, but northbound is backed up from the Fruitville Road exit heading all the way to Palmettos. Keep that in mind if you're heading north.
In consumer news, Credit Education Month continues. All week we've had some tips on the importance of staying on top of your credit report. Now, some advice on how to raise your credit score. If your credit score is not very good, you might get charged a higher interest rate on a loan, have to pay a higher down payment, or even get rejected for a loan altogether. But if your credit score just needs a little boost, here's a fast tip that could help.
Really, there's one key tip, and that is get a secured credit card. A secured credit card is just like your normal credit card. You can swipe it anywhere. It bears interest, unfortunately, and it reports to all 3 credit bureaus. The difference is that credit limit you get on that card is based on a deposit that you put down. So if you have a $300 credit limit, you sent that credit card company a $300 deposit to back up that limit.
Also, be sure to keep your balance low. Never use more than 30% of your balance and pay on it every month in full if you're able to.
Well, interest rates are headed up, and that likely won't change anytime soon. The Federal Reserve, in the first meeting under Chairman Jerome Powell, voted to raise its key interest rate by a quarter point. They're expecting at least 2 more hikes this year and even more for the next year.
Toys R Us stores across the country are starting liquidation sales today. This comes after the toy retailer announced earlier this month it would be closing or selling all of its U.S. stores. The going out of business sale will offer big discounts on toys as the company looks to get rid of its inventory by June. The liquidation is expected to take about 14 weeks, but some stores may close earlier if that inventory sells out.
Well, stay with us. Entertainment news is coming up next.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call, let us give you some peace of mind.
I actually started playing the game at 11 years old, so I started a little bit later than most players. But I was actually raised on Fighting Joe. The value here at Robert Trent Jones is unsurpassable. I mean, I have looked to other places. I've traveled all the way across the country. Everything is perfect as far as everything is the golf course, the rolling of the greens. Everything that I've encountered has just been absolutely incredible. And for the money that you spend, for the value that you actually get, it is unsurpassable. I'd recommend it for anybody.
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new 2018 Subaru Impreza for just $195 a month for 42 months with zero due at signing. That's right, not one penny. Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
I'll be right back.
In entertainment news, Black Panther has topped the box office an amazing 5 straight weekends. But this weekend, a new movie will take a crack at bringing down the champ. Pacific Rim Uprising looks to go down in history as the movie that finally topped Black Panther at the box office. Analysts expect the sci-fi action sequel to debut with around $25 million, less than the original, but enough to top Black Panther in the movie's 6th weekend in theaters.
Some games never end. The trailer for the new movie Tag is trending online. The story revolves around a group of friends who have been playing the same game of tag since they were kids, traveling the United States and risking everything to make someone else it. Tag, which is actually based on a true story, will open in June. Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams will still have to pay the family of the late Marvin Gaye. A federal court upheld a 2015 jury's verdict that the hit Blurred Lines illegally copied Gaye's 1977 song, Got to Give It Up. The court says Thicke and Williams have to give up $5.3 million to the Gaye family. Lawyers for both say they plan to appeal this new ruling.
Celine Dion fans are wishing the pop superstar a quick recovery. She was forced to cancel 3 weeks of upcoming performances at Caesars Palace. Dion has been dealing with a condition in her middle ear for the past year and a half, which causes hearing irregularities and makes it difficult to sing. She will now undergo a minimally invasive surgical procedure to correct the problem. She says that she knows how disappointing this is to her fans who paid to see her perform, and she is sorry.
Well, the boss isn't giving up the bright lights of Broadway just yet. Bruce Springsteen is extending the run of his one-man show through mid-December. Tickets for the 81 additional shows go on sale Wednesday, March 28th. Springsteen began his residency at the Walter Kerr Theater in October and has already extended performances once before the latest announcement. The final run of Springsteen on Broadway begins July 10th and then wraps up on December 15th.
Well, stay with us. We'll be right back with more news and weather after the break.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.